Welcome to Get Married. I'm Colin Cowie. Today is all about saving you money while throwing a stylish and unforgettable wedding.
And I'm Deanna Pappas. Let your stylish finds for your wedding be fashionably priced. Some of the top designers in bridal have created chic wedding gowns that fit you and the economy. Get ready, it's Get Married.
For me, when it comes to designing a wedding, true style is a sense of self. It's a confidence and graciousness that is evident to everyone that comes in contact with you. It means knowing yourself, what works for you and what doesn't. Having a strong sense of style at your wedding doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of money. GetMarried.com and I are here to offer ways to add style to your wedding, regardless of your budget. So how can you have a stylish wedding without breaking the bank? There are many ways to throw a fabulous wedding without going into debt. Cutting costs for your big day is something most couples face. But how do you cut corners without you or your guests feeling the crunch?
Number one, a thought really to your number of guests. If you can cut 10, 20, 50 people, you can keep the level of quality at exactly where you may have first imagined.
Getting married off-season at a time that your location and all your vendors aren't as popular or busy so that they can negotiate.
It's not just the season, but the day and time of day that affects your bottom line.
Some venues will provide you some form of a discount if you book on a Friday or a Sunday because those days aren't necessarily always full. If you do something in the afternoon, a Saturday afternoon is certainly going to cost you less than a Saturday evening. A Sunday brunch is really wonderful. Very different style of menu, of course, but it certainly is a meal period that would be less expensive than doing a dinner.
And if you plan to party more than partake in food...
It is a budget-saving tip to be able to cut out one of the courses of your meal.
But what about those little extras, like the toast?
Do you want to do the toast or not? And if you do, consider having people drink the wine that they're either having dinner. Most of them have something to drink, whether it's their sparkling water or wine. Don't open up. Have you ever noticed how much that people will waste in champagne that they don't want?
And when you sit down to dessert?
A lot of people aren't even going to eat the wedding cake. You can have sweet little desserts or a dessert table or a dessert and candy table and not have the wedding cake, or if you want to keep with that tradition, do a much smaller cake and people get bites of it.
Instead of having your cake heavily encrusted in sugar flowers, which is labor intensive, you decide to get a plain fondant cake and put a cake topper on it or decorate it with a photograph or something simple and inexpensive.
And when it comes to decor, you can do it yourself or do something a bit more modern.
Really looking at modern floral arrangements, smaller ones, spots of colors that are little beautiful, perfect flowers that are really nicely done in little square vases with satin edges in your colors, but cutting down on those huge arrangements and really considering that, I don't have to have every surface covered in flowers. And it's just as elegant and really beautiful.
And for the do-it-yourselfer?
So much you can make yourself. And we have been noticing that a lot of people are really loving the downloadable art because things like programs, table numbers, favors, there's so much that you can do yourself today with technology. Can save you so much money. Music on an MP3 player. I think the trick is prioritizing.
And when you prioritize, don't feel like you have to sacrifice your dream.
For the bride who dreams of having the gorgeous Sylvia Weinstein cake covered with sugar roses, they should definitely still have that, but they'll just cut back somewhere else.
Just be sure not to lose sight of the meaning of your big day.
At the end of the day, the wedding is not about the abundance of the number of roses that it's in the centerpiece or how heavily decorated the cake is. It's about you finding your soulmate and kind of celebrating with people who are close to you, no matter how big or small.
No matter how big or small, remember,
if you are on a budget, you should make a budget and you should try to stick with it.
You can find more stylish ideas for your wedding day in the planning pages of getmarried.com and keep track of your wedding day budget with our planning tools.
Part of Colin's definition of true style is that you make every single guest as welcome and comfortable as possible. It may seem like the only way to do this is to spend a lot of money, but there is a great money-saving option that will be easy on your bank account and a great convenience to your guests. Throwing your wedding at an airport hotel. For most people, airport hotels mean business travel. But for the savvy bride, it can mean making their budget go further. Sure, most airport hotels are busy catering to business travelers during the week, but on the weekends, things slow down, a bargaining chip for brides.
On the weekend, the hotel kind of transforms from the business savvy client to the more social leisure client. We usually give them a great price for the guest rooms, and we also give complimentary suite to the bride and groom for the weddings.
Such a value. You could be saving hundreds of dollars per person, and you can put that money towards upgraded food, linen, lighting, anything to make your wedding fabulous.
Another advantage of the weekend slowdown, dedicated service. With fewer guests and often only 2 ballrooms, it's easy to focus on making your event unique.
We do lend to more personal service. We have that flexibility that we can do custom menus and things that don't always happen when they have such a huge amount of weddings.
Being budget smart at an airport hotel doesn't mean you have to sacrifice perks you'd expect at a 5-star venue.
We do a signature gobo in the lobby. It's a really awesome feeling when your guests come in and they see your name right on the middle of the lobby floor. If the bride and groom are busy that night and they don't have a chance to actually try their entree that they custom made, we can have it brought up to their suites. They can enjoy it privately. Also, the next day, they receive breakfast in bed.
Whether you hold your event there or simply reserve a block of rooms for your guests who have flown in for your wedding, another huge plus of an airport hotel is convenience.
It's great to have a wedding room block at an airport property just because it makes it easier for any out-of-town guests. A lot of time at the airport properties, we have complimentary shuttles to and from the airport.
When they get here into LA, they would take the shuttle, the hotel shuttle, and come right over to the hotel. So there's no need to rent a car, there's no need to have family members pick you up. That's something that the hotel will be happy to do.
An airport hotel wedding is also a great idea for the people who matter most, you and your groom, offering a stress-free environment.
All you have to do is write us a check. And we take care of everything else. You don't have to worry about tables, chairs, linens, china, silverware. Hotels do everything. So you've got us, our expertise as far as the event goes. On the day of the event, you don't really have to hire a wedding planner.
You don't have the stress of worrying about getting your guests from the hotel to the church, getting from the church back to the hotel. You don't have to worry about the traffic, the trolley breaking down, the limos not showing up. That stress is completely eliminated.
And that convenience extends to the day after the event. An airport location will give guests the time to enjoy a farewell brunch before hopping on a flight, and you and your groom time to relax before heading off on your honeymoon. You might even get a special anniversary bonus.
A year from your wedding, you have a complimentary suite that you can use. A lot of my couples use their suite to go on a second honeymoon together.
A wonderful way to relive the memories of your wedding. You can find ceremony and reception venues for your wedding in the local resources pages of getmarried.com. Stay where you are. We've got more for you on Get Married. Colin will show you how to have a chic wedding cocktail hour without spending unnecessary money. And don't think you can afford that gorgeous gown for your wedding day? Think again. We'll show you how designers are creating dresses to fit every bride's style and budget. That's next on Get Married.
Alcohol at your wedding could be a big expense, but it doesn't have to be. I've got some tips on having a chic cocktail hour without a champagne price tag. My book Wedding Chic is filled to the brim with thousands of ideas to inspire you how to plan and design the wedding of your dreams. Now, the one place brides and grooms are increasingly becoming inspired for their weddings is the cocktail hour. I encourage you to get creative with your drinks and think beyond the standard fare. Think glamorous martinis or coffee and espresso-based cocktails to keep the party going, while at the same time lending an air of sophistication to your wedding. Pass trays around with sexy shooters or name different cocktails after your bridesmaids and groomsmen. The cocktail hour is an area where you get to have some fun. but you can also find ways of avoiding spending too much money. One idea is to see if your wedding venue will allow you to bring in your own bar. Then, of course, when it comes to wine, speak with your caterer about the style preferences and be sure to taste an array of different options. There's so many wines from around the world that have different tastes that are all reasonably priced. You're bound to find one that will work within your budget. The key is to try a few wines from different regions around the world to discover the best taste and price fit before making a decision. Now, if you do have the means, a champagne toast is synonymous with big weddings. I like to use the biggest bottle I can find and have the bartender pop the cork with a ceremonial saber to start the party with a bang. Now, if champagne isn't in your budget, try local sparkling wine. You can add cranberry juice or pomegranate juice for added elegance. Or rim the top of the glass with caramelized sugar for an ultra-chic champagne cocktail. By taking the time to search for the style and prices you want for your drinks, you're sure to find the cocktails that will fit the taste for your wedding. Cheers. For more of my tips on having a fabulous wedding, check out the Colin Cowie pages on getmarried.com.
It seems that recently a bride's main concern has gone from fitting into her gown to fitting her gown into her budget. Well, cost-conscious brides everywhere can delight in the fact that one of the hottest trends walking down the runways of New York Bridal Fashion Week isn't a color or a cut, but the economy. With the cost-conscious brides and grooms of today, designers have set out to create wearable, affordable couture.
I really tried to work with the economy these days. I really want to try and make it something very tempting and very exciting for them to be thrilled to purchase, but yet watch the price point so it's something they can afford and that they won't feel like it's really taking a lot out of their pockets.
If you've always dreamt of a certain designer's gown, but knew it was beyond your budget, think again. Affordable is the new buzzword.
I had to have the total freedom to do couture without to think about market prices. And let me try to do another line to please more the market, not more the store who they're asking me to do something more real clothes, real dresses, but still keeping my idea of cleanness, lightness, and simplicity.
With the launch of new divisions like Angel by Angel Sanchez, famed and pricey designers like Angel Sanchez, Kirsty Kelly, Amsala, and Ramona Caveja have all found ways to bring their elite artistic eye to the weddings of almost any bride. So shop around and look for some of your favorites to make an appearance in a new, more socially aware market.
What they're looking for is something that's a little bit more sensitive to the environment that we live in today, economically as well as ecologically and socially. So people are going back to the basics.
And just because it doesn't cost a fortune doesn't mean it's not priceless.
The fabrics that we did choose, I think, offer a lot of varieties for a lot of girls out there. Qualities of different satins and organzas and laces. I think it just gives a good variety because every girl has their different taste of what they see on themselves.
Whether you want opulence or not, cutting costs in your wedding day attire does not mean sacrificing that style or the quality you deserve. You can find gowns for every bride's style, price range, and size in the gown galleries on getmarried.com. Don't go away. We've got more money-saving tips coming up on Get Married. You may think saving money and saving time is asking way too much of your wedding planning, but we'll show you a remarkably simple way to do both. That's next on Get Married.
Putting on your dream wedding while staying in your budget can be a pretty daunting task. Sometimes the hardest part is just figuring out, where do I begin? If this sounds like you, I suggest a pair of comfortable shoes, because your next stop is the local bridal expo. Bridal expos are a fantastic tool when it comes to planning your wedding. It's a one-stop shop. Tons of your local vendors from every area of the wedding world gather together in one location, making the planning process easier on you.
Today's bride today is average age of 26 to 28 years of age. They're busy, they're professionals, they have little time in planning. They can stop today at the bridal show and make contacts to a large number of service providers and get some of those major decisions done a little bit quicker.
It's a very efficient way to actually plan your wedding. To have one place to come to see all the different vendors and all the different categories that I might need for a wedding would be a fabulously seamless way to do your event planning.
I think you're saving time, I think you're saving money, and I think you're saving your sanity. I just don't imagine anyone going to 7 different florists during one weekend, or it might take you 5 weekends where, again, you could do this all in one place under one roof. I think within 3 months of the engagement, it's a fair time to say, let's have an overview of what we're looking for, and then perhaps nail down what categories we really want to focus on and go and meet these people. And I think, again, in today's economy, with so many other expenses, the one-stop shopping concept is most important for our audience today, that we can help you save in other ways and also make sure you're forming a great alliance with the people that will help you plan your wedding day.
But you still need to do your research.
It's great to figure out exactly what it is you still need for your wedding and go online and get a list of all the vendors and figure out all the vendors by category. So then when she comes, so she knows she's looking for photographers, right? When she gets to the show and she gets the floor plan, she can see, okay, where do I find the photographers?
And you're not just saving the time it takes to look through all the bridal magazines or call your vendors on the phone.
I would go to a bridal show for creative ideas. I think creative ideas would be my number one. Number two would be face-to-face marketing. I think in today's economy, there are so many choices put before each of us. And when these brides are shopping, I think that they're overwhelmed with a lot of information. And if you can put a name and a face behind your product, it's something that we stand very proudly behind. These are the people when and if you are in a crisis moment during your wedding that have been doing this their entire lives, and you have to allow them the ability to help you in any way, shape, and form they can. So choosing those right people is so essential to your wedding planning.
There are even fashion shows where you can see the latest in bridal gowns, bridesmaids' dresses and tuxedos, or literally get a taste of different caterers and cake companies that provide free samples of their food. And that's not all.
It's an opportunity to take advantage of some special sales. They find new products and services that are available today that they had no idea that even existed for today.
We also have an interesting category of independent people that are doing alternative options for wedding favors, such as fundraising methods, a much more creative way to give back to your community, which we're seeing a lot more friendly within the wedding industry itself.
But one of the most exciting parts of Bridal Expos are the giveaways. You could go in the morning and walk out with a free dress, floral package, or even honeymoon. You can also book vendors right then and there, so be sure to have your checkbook with you. With so many vendors to choose from, it's a good idea to leave them your contact information to make it easier on yourself.
I'd recommend that they could bring any printed out labels that they might have with their name, mailing address, phone number, whatever information you might like to provide to a vendor who you'd like to follow up with after the event.
You're going to receive lots of information, but if you come prepared for the Bridal Expo experience, you'll leave prepared for your wedding. You can find Bridal Expos in your area in the local resources pages of getmarried.com. And don't go anywhere, we've got more to come on Get Married. We'll show you some of the hottest ways to add personal touches to your wedding that won't exceed your budget.
What's hot right now for weddings? Charming wedding ideas that won't break the bank. Bring a sweet, romantic feel to your wedding ceremony with this embroidered heart pillow. Your ring bearer will look adorable walking down the aisle carrying the white satin pillow detailed with 2 interlocking embroidered silver hearts with a wide chiffon bow. Personalized napkins are also hot right now for weddings. These soft 3-ply napkins are available in a rainbow of vibrant colors, so you'll be sure to find the ones that match your wedding colors. You can personalize the napkins, perfect for your cocktail hour and reception, with a design that goes with your theme, your names, and wedding date in an ink or foil color of your choice. And here's some hot advice. You should always order twice as many napkins as invitations you sent for your wedding, as often one invitation is sent to a couple or family with children. Want to add some pizzazz to top off your cake table? Add this silver double heart pick to the top of your wedding cake to add instant sparkle and elegance. And when it comes to the tradition of slicing the wedding cake with your groom, Do it with style and a touch of romance with these silver-plated serving pieces with heart-shaped handles. The stainless steel server can be engraved with your first names and wedding date for an added personal touch. Both the knife and the server can be kept as keepsakes in your new home together and bring back special memories of your day each time you use them. To find all of these hot items and more by Ann's Bridal Bargains, check out the invitation gallery on getmarried.com. Have you discovered some fabulous ways to save money and still get the wedding you've always dreamed of? Well, now you can share them on Get Married's Blogger Brides.
Get Married's Blogger Brides is the online community that connects you and other brides with our team of acclaimed star bloggers. Make friends, chat, follow my blog, and get some great ideas, all on Get Married's Blogger Brides. Thanks for joining us today on Get Married. Whenever you need some wedding inspiration or planning tips, visit us at getmarried.com. I'm Colin Cowie, and we'll see you right here next time.